GMNA uses artificial intelligence for generated speech, visuals, and production. AI-generated content may contain errors. Please verify important information before making decisions or taking action.
Good night, Montreal.
Quebec officials announced today a sweeping plan to remodel Highway 10 between Brossard and Carignan, adding dedicated lanes for buses and high-occupancy vehicles while modernizing the aging roadway. The province says the new corridors will smooth the link between South Shore commuters and the REM light rail network, cutting travel times and easing congestion on the main commuter artery. Engineers will integrate the bus and carpool lanes with existing REM stations, allowing seamless transfers and encouraging shared ride options. Funding will cover resurfacing, upgraded signage, and intelligent traffic controls designed to prioritize public transit. The project aligns with broader efforts to expand rapid transit access across the island and its suburbs, positioning the South Shore as a more attractive entry point to the regional network. Construction is slated to begin later this year, with completion targeted for the mid-20s.
Montreal Public Health is urging residents to prepare for an imminent heat wave that will bring unusually high temperatures and humidity across the island and into southern Quebec and Ontario. Officials say the forecast calls for several consecutive days of oppressive heat, a pattern that can strain vulnerable groups such as seniors, children, and those with chronic conditions. They recommend staying hydrated, limiting outdoor activity during peak heat, and checking on neighbors who may need assistance. Cooling centers will be opened at community facilities, and the health agency will issue regular updates through local media. Residents are also advised to keep curtains closed, use fans or air conditioners when possible, and seek shade if they must be outside. The public health warning comes as meteorologists confirm the heat will persist through the early part of next week.
Quebec Government Minister Bernard Drainville will unveil a 25-year, $87 billion resource management plan in Varennes later today. The strategy sets a target of 77% of the province's energy consumption coming from renewable sources by 2050. It outlines major investments in wind, solar, and hydro projects, along with upgrades to the electricity grid and incentives for industry and households. Officials say the plan is designed to reduce reliance on fossil fuels, meet climate commitments, and sustain economic growth. The rollout will be coordinated with municipal and regional authorities, and the province expects regular progress reviews throughout the period. If fully implemented, the initiative would position Quebec among the leading jurisdictions worldwide in clean energy transition. Funding will combine provincial allocations with private sector contributions, and the government has pledged annual reporting on emissions reductions and renewable capacity growth.
Quebec announced today a $123 million investment to clean up a brownfield site in the east of the island. The province will target roughly 30 million square feet of abandoned industrial land, aiming to transform the area into usable space for businesses and housing. The funding will be managed by the Provincial Environmental Ministry and will be allocated over the next several years, with the first phase slated to begin early next summer. Officials say the project is part of a broader strategy to revitalize eastern neighborhoods and attract new development. Local leaders highlighted the potential for job creation and improved environmental health once the remediation work is complete. The province plans to coordinate with municipal authorities to ensure the redevelopment aligns with community plans. Monitoring of soil quality and long-term stewardship will be part of the plan to protect nearby residents.
City engineers have closed Camillion Houdway on Mount Royal Corridor for a 2-week maintenance window that began today and will run through July 14th. The closure, ordered by the City of Montreal, is intended to complete surface repairs before the scheduled bike race that will thread Mountain's scenic route later this month. Motorists are being directed to use alternate arteries such as Côte St. Lucian Road and nearby Parkway, while traffic controllers monitor flow at intersections. Bicyclists will benefit from a smoother surface when the race begins, officials said. The work includes resurfacing, drainage upgrades, and safety markings, all aimed at meeting events' timing requirements. The city will issue updates as work continues. Commuters traveling between Plateau and Westmount are advised to allow travel time, and transit routes have been adjusted to accommodate the shift. Transportation Department stressed the work is essential for rider safety and to preserve corridors' integrity.
Coming up, West Island residents await flood debris cleanup, a story that hits close to home. Stay tuned, we will be right back.
Watch the local sunset tonight at 6 p.m. for all your local Montreal news.
Welcome back, everyone. That was a quick break. Now let's turn to Reid, who's got the latest local stories for us.
Residents of Dollar des Ormeaux are still confronting piles of garbage and debris left by last week's severe West Island floods. Municipal officials have acknowledged the delay in removal and have set a town hall meeting for August 6 to outline the next phase of cleanup. The gathering will give homeowners a chance to hear the city's plan, ask questions, and coordinate volunteer efforts, while city engineers will detail the resources being deployed. In the meantime, neighborhoods report clogged streets and soggy basements, forcing families to navigate around waste as they resume daily routines. Officials say crews are mobilizing, but full clearance is expected to extend beyond the immediate meeting. City spokesperson Marie Lefebvre emphasized that safety remains the priority. The council hopes the August session will provide a clear timetable for restoring normal conditions across the affected streets.
Former West Island Mayor Francis Deru announced today his decision to run as a Parti Québécois candidate in the upcoming provincial election, slated for autumn. Deru, who led the West Island borough for several terms, said his move reflects a desire to bring local experience to the province's political arena. The Parti Québécois, currently recruiting fresh faces, welcomed the former mayor, noting his track record on municipal issues. Election officials have confirmed the vote will take place later this year, with campaigning set to intensify over the coming months. Deru's candidacy adds a recognizable name to the party's slate and could reshape voter dynamics in the region. Residents can expect the campaign trail to visit neighborhoods across the island as parties vie for support ahead of the autumn poll. The announcement underscores the party's push to broaden its appeal in the metropolitan area.
U.S. officials say the number of unauthorized crossings from Quebec into Vermont has risen sharply this week, and the flow remains active. Border agents in the Estrie corridor report intercepting individuals from a wide range of countries who first gather in the Quebec region before attempting the trek across the border. The uptick has led to longer wait times for regular travelers and heightened patrol activity along the highway that links the two provinces. Local businesses on both sides are noticing more security checks, which could affect delivery schedules and commuter routines. Authorities stress the situation is evolving, with enforcement resources being redirected to address the surge. Residents near the crossing are being advised to expect possible delays as officials continue to process the increased traffic. Police note many are seeking asylum, adding response complexity. Local officials are working with customs to ease congestion.
An early season heat wave is sweeping through southern Quebec today, pushing temperatures to a high of 33 degrees Celsius and driving the heat index up to 44 degrees. Meteorologists say the sweltering conditions could mark the first major heat spell of the summer, with humidity adding to the discomfort. Residents are feeling the impact on outdoor activities, as parks and sidewalks become uncomfortably hot and air-conditioned spaces see a surge in demand. Local businesses report increased sales of cold beverages and fans, while schools have adjusted recess schedules to protect children from prolonged exposure. Health officials remind people to stay hydrated, seek shade during peak hours, and check on vulnerable neighbors. The heat wave remains ongoing, and forecasts suggest the extreme temperature will persist through the coming days.
Mayor of Montreal unveiled a new initiative yesterday aimed at keeping renters in their homes. The city will provide interest-free loans to 150 low-income households, each loan capped at $5,000. Borrowers will repay the amount over a 5-year period without any interest charges. The program targets tenants who are struggling to meet rent payments, offering a financial bridge that could prevent evictions. Applications will be open to eligible renters later this month, with funds dispersed directly to landlords on behalf of borrowers. City officials say the measure is designed to address the rising cost of housing and to give households a stable footing during economic uncertainty. The loans will be administered through the Municipal Housing Department, ensuring quick processing for those in need. If approved, the assistance could reach dozens of families before the end of the year.
Now, let's hand it over for your night outlook with our meteorologist, Jean-Claude.
A steady mid-level ridge and a fast westward jet stream are shoving warm, humid air over Montreal tonight. On this date, the all-time high was 31.7 degrees Celsius, recorded in 2018 during a prolonged heat wave that pushed temperatures well into the mid-30s across the province. The all-time low sits at 13.3 degrees Celsius, set in 2022 when an early summer cold snap brought Arctic air deep into the corridor, snapping daily highs into the teens. By contrast, climatological normals for late June hover around 29 for the high and 15 for the low, underscoring how today's readings sit well above the long-term average. The live radar is completely quiet, no echoes of rain or snow across the basin. That emptiness reflects a dry, stable atmosphere. High pressure remains steady, and the swift westward jet stream is steering a warm air mass aloft, keeping any lift-generated precipitation at bay. With no moisture to ignite, the map stays clear as we turn to tonight's outlook. At 11 p.m., the sky is mostly cloudy with a temperature of 24 and humidity around 67%. Pressure is near average and holding steady, while a jet stream racing westward at 83 kilometers per hour crowns the mid-levels, funneling warm air from the interior. The surface wind is light, 12 kilometers per hour from the south, rising to a maximum of 19 kilometers per hour later this evening. Temperatures will climb to a daytime high of 32 and dip to a low of 20, while the ultraviolet index settles at 5. No rain is expected, but a heat warning persists for the greater Montreal area and surrounding municipalities, urging residents to stay hydrated and monitor vulnerable individuals. Winds remain below 25 kilometers per hour, so wind chill is negligible. Today will see the ridge persist, pushing a high of 33 and a low of 22 under an overcast sky. The jet stream remains aloft, maintaining the warm pool. Thursday, the jet stream will dip slightly, allowing a brief intrusion of drier air and a clear sky. Yet 30% of the region will still see rain as temperatures hold at 31 high and 22 low. Friday, the flow steadies again, delivering a clear sky with a high of 30 and a low of 23 as the ridge dominates. Saturday, the ridge weakens modestly, bringing an overcast backdrop and cooler readings, high of 27, low of 20. Sunday, the pattern holds, overcast again with a high of 30 and a low of 20 as the jet stream stays positioned aloft, keeping the air warm but cloud-laden. Heat warnings remain in effect throughout the period, so vigilance is advised. And that's your weather. Remember, the wrap is also available as a podcast. Listen anytime on Amazon Music or wherever you get your podcasts.
Later, we'll break down today's traffic snarls, preview tonight's concert lineup, and catch the Canadians' latest move. Stay with us. We will be right back.
Watch the local sunset tonight at 6 p.m. for all your local Montreal news.
And now here's Jason with sports.
A busy stretch for the Canadians, trades, free agency, and a legend immortalized. Brendan Gallagher is headed west. Montreal dealt the longtime forward to the Vancouver Canucks in exchange for future considerations, according to CBC Sports. Gallagher spent years as one of the Canadians' most recognizable forwards before this move closed a significant chapter in his time with the organization. With NHL free agency now open, do not expect the Canadians to dominate the headlines. Sportsnet analyst Eric Engels reports general manager Kent Hughes is not anticipated to be a major player in the unrestricted market, though Engels notes there are still moves worth watching as Montreal shapes its roster. Carey Price is going to the Hockey Hall of Fame. The Canadiens' goaltending great was elected to the 2026 class alongside Pekka Rinne, Keith Tkachuk, Patrice Bergeron, and Cindy Curley. The announcement was made earlier this month, according to CBC Sports.
On a bright Saturday morning in the heart of Longueuil, a modest community hall buzzed with the sound of folding chairs and hopeful chatter. DoorDash representatives stood beside volunteers from Logifam and shelter movers, their vans loaded with fresh produce, school supplies, and warm blankets for families navigating crisis. As a young mother stepped forward, her 2 children clutched worn-out backpacks, the delivery team handed her a basket brimming with fresh fruit, a stack of notebooks, and a handwritten note promising reliable rides to appointments. The smile that spread across her face was a reminder of why the partnership matters. In the weeks that follow, DoorDash's logistical network will shuttle essential items to dozens of shelters, while its financial contribution will fund safe housing programs that Logifam runs for women escaping violence. The community hall, once quiet, now echoes with laughter as children unpack new crayons and parents share stories of renewed hope. Tonight, That simple act of handing over a basket feels like a bridge built between strangers, turning a city's challenges into shared possibilities. Together, we keep hope moving forward.
On the bustling Rue Saint-Laurent in the Plateau, a group of volunteers from the community center set up a pop-up cooling station as the city swelters under the first heat wave of 2026. Bright blue fans whirred beside folding tables laden with chilled fruit, reusable water bottles, and handcrafted ice packs that local high school students had frozen the night before. Among the recipients was Mrs. Boussachar, an 80-year-old resident who lives alone. She paused to thank the volunteers, her eyes crinkling as a cool breeze brushed her cheeks for the first time in days. Across the block, the neighborhood bakery handed out free iced pastries, their sugary scent mingling with the scent of fresh mint tea served by a retired nurse who had turned her balcony into a makeshift hydration hub. Health officials note that low-income households face the steepest cooling gaps, but today the community's quick response turned a potentially dangerous day into a reminder of collective care. It's moments like these, neighbors sharing a fan, a smile, a cold drink that stitch the fabric of Montreal tighter even when the temperature climbs.
Thanks for watching, Montreal. Today's heat wave, with temperatures soaring to 33 degrees and a heat index near 44, reminded us all to stay cool. We'll be back tomorrow with more stories that matter to you. See you then. Stay safe, stay informed, and keep looking out for each other.